Good afternoon or good evening, football fans. Big Al here on this Wednesday, October 8th, 2025, and welcome in to the Week 7 college football rankings, as we'll be taking a look at both the Associated Press Top 25 poll and the AFCA Coaches Poll entering week number 7. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, and get notified every time I go live. And here we go with the Week 7 college football rankings. And we're starting off, as always, with the Associated Press Top 25 poll. All right. No change at the top as the Ohio State Buckeyes remain number 1. 5-0 record with 1,620 points. They took care of business last week, beating Minnesota 42-3. And this week, they are off to Champaign to face 17th ranked Illinois. Up a spot to number 2 are the Miami Hurricanes. 5-0 record, 1,579 points. They have 21 first place votes. What I didn't mention was Ohio State has 40 first place votes. All right, coming off their first bye week, the Hurricanes held on and defeated Florida State 28-22 in Tallahassee, and they have another week off this week. Down a spot and trading places with the Hurricanes are the Oregon Ducks at number 3. 5-0 record, 1,542 points, and 5 first place votes. The Ducks did not play in week 6, but they are back at it this week with a big game against Indiana. No change at number 4 with the Ole Miss Runnin' Rebels. 5-0 record, 1,376 points. They were off last week. They're back at it, hosting Washington State. Up one spot to number 5, the Texas A&M Aggies. 5-0 record, 1,361 points. They defeated Mississippi State 31-9, and this week they'll host a Florida team coming off their win over Texas. Down one spot to number 6 in trading places with Texas A&M are the Oklahoma Sooners. 5-0 record, 1,346 points. They pitched a shutout against Kent State last week, 44-0. This week, they'll face their longtime rivals, the Texas Longhorns, in the Red River rivalry that's taking place at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Moving up one spot to number 7, the Indiana Hoosiers. 5-0 record, 1,213 points. They were off last week. Kirk Cignetta's team is back on the field this week as they take a trip west to face third-ranked Oregon. Moving up 2 spots to number 8 are the Alabama Crimson Tide. 4-1 record, 1,202 points. They get revenge on Vanderbilt by beating the Commodores 30-14 in Tuscaloosa. This week, they're on the road to face Missouri, and I'll tell you where the Tigers are ranked shortly. Moving up 2 spots to number 9, the Texas Tech Red Raiders. 5-0 record, 1,135 points. They defeated Houston last Friday night, 35-11, and this week they'll host the Kansas Jayhawks. Up 2 spots to number 10, the Georgia Bulldogs. 4-1 record, 1,084 points. They ran over Kentucky 35-14, and they have a pretty tough game coming up this week at Auburn. Also up 2 spots to number 11, the LSU Tigers. 4-1 record with 949 points. They were off last week. They're back at it this week, hosting South Carolina. The Tennessee Volunteers are up 3 spots to number 12. 4-1 record, 892 points. They were also off, but they will host Arkansas this week. Up 4 spots to number 13, you've got the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. 5-0 record, 782 points. The Jackets were also off last week. They're back at it, hosting Virginia Tech. The next 6 teams are tied for the biggest jump in the AP poll this week. All 6 teams moved up 5 spots. That includes the Missouri Tigers at number 14, the Michigan Wolverines at number 15, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at number 16, the Illinois Fighting Illini at number 17, the BYU Cougars at number 18, and the Virginia Cavaliers at number 19. What's up, Anna and Chad? How y'all doing? Oh, that was a bit bumpy. Sorry about that. Anyway, Missouri is 5-0 with 775 points. They were off last week. They have a test at home coming up with number 8 Alabama. Michigan is 4-1 with 707 points, coming off of last week's 24-10 home win against Wisconsin. The Wolverines are off to the LA Coliseum this week to face the USC Trojans. Notre Dame at number 16 is 3-2 with 610 points. They blew up Boise State 28-7, and this week they will host the NC State Wolfpack. Then you got Illinois at number 17. They're 5-1 with 522 points. They beat Purdue in West Lafayette 43-27, and they return home to host number 1 Ohio State. At number 18 is BYU at 5-0 and 463 points. They beat West Virginia 38-24, and this week they're headed to the desert to face the Arizona Wildcats. And then you got Virginia at number 19. They're 5-1 with 452 points. They beat Louisville in overtime 30-27. So now that's back-to-back OT wins for the Cavaliers. And they'll ride that momentum into their bye week this week. Down 4 spots to number 20 are the Vanderbilt Commodores. 5-1 record, 407 points. They lost at Alabama 30-14, and they are off this week. Personally, I don't think Vanderbilt really should have dropped all that much this week. But I'm not a voter in the Associated Press poll, so I pretty much have no say in it. Up 4 spots to number 21 are the Arizona State Sun Devils. 4-1 record, 214 points. They were off last week. They got a tough road test in Salt Lake this week against the Utah Utes. Biggest drop in the AP is the Iowa State Cyclones, tumbling 8 spots to number 22. 5-1 record, 165 points, losing in Cincinnati 38-30. And of course, they were the underdogs in that game despite being ranked. This week, they're headed to Coach Prime's house to play Colorado. We have 2 newcomers in the AP poll this week. The first is the Memphis Tigers at number 23. 6-0 record, 153 points. They blew apart Tulsa 45-7, and they are off this week. The other newcomer, or returning team, I should say in this case, are the South Florida Bulls at number 24. 4-1 record, 150 points. They beat Charlotte big 54-26, and this week they're on the road to face North Texas. And down 7 spots to number 25 are the Florida State Seminoles. 3-2 record, 147 points. They, of course, lost at home to third-ranked Miami, or then third-ranked Miami, 28-22. This week, they host the Pittsburgh Panthers. All right. So 2 teams dropped from this week's rankings, and both were in the top 10. The Penn State Nittany Lions, after Saturday's loss at UCLA, fell from number 7, while the Texas Longhorns, the preseason number 1 team in the AP, they fell from number 9. So both of those teams are out. They are replaced, of course, by Memphis and South Florida. Others receiving votes include the Cincinnati Bearcats with 129 points, the Texas Longhorns at 111, the Penn State Nittany Lions at 97. Then you have the Utah Utes with 82 points, the Nebraska Cornhuskers with 60, USC Trojans with 46, the UNLV Runnin' Rebels with 19, North Texas Mean Green with 16, the TCU Horned Frogs with 14, then it's the Mississippi State Bulldogs with 10, the Washington Huskies also with 10, the Navy Midshipmen at 4 points, then it's the Louisville Cardinals with 3 points, and the Auburn Tigers with 1. So that's your AP poll going into week number 7. Now let's jump over to the AFCA coaches poll entering week number 7. There we go. And there is no change with the top 5 teams in this poll, as Ohio State remains at number 1, 5-0 record, 1,638 points and 59 first place votes. Oregon remains at number 2, 5-0 record, 1,572 points and 3 first place votes. Number 3 is Miami, 5-0 record, 1,531 points and 3 first place votes. Number 4 is Ole Miss, 5-0 record, 1,402 points. And staying at number 5 another week is Texas A&M, 5-0 record, 1,330 points, and they're also getting a first place vote. Up 2 spots to number 6 is Oklahoma, 5-0 record, 1,283 points. Indiana follows suit, moving up 2 spots to number 7, 5-0 record, 1,206 points. Jumping 3 spots to number 8 are the Alabama Crimson Tide, 4-1 record, 1,183 points. Up 1 spot to number 9 are the Georgia Bulldogs, 4-1 record, 1,128 points. Then it's Texas Tech, jumping 4 spots to number 10, 5-0 record, 1,082 points. Moving up a couple to number 11 is LSU, 4-1 record, 999 points. Then it's Tennessee, up 3 spots to number 12, 4-1 record, 889 points. Up 3 spots to 13 is Georgia Tech, 5-0 record, 819 points. Then you've got Missouri moving up 4 spots to number 14. 5-0 record, 736 points. Michigan, Notre Dame, Illinois, and BYU are all tied for the biggest jump in the coaches poll this week, all moving up 5 spots. Michigan moves up 5 spots to number 15, 4-1 record, 653 points. Notre Dame is up 5 spots to number 16, 3-2 record, 491 points. Illinois jumps 5 spots to number 17, 5-1 record, 484 points. And BYU also up 5 spots to number 18, 5-0 record, 453 points. Now, I mentioned that Texas and Penn State are both unranked in the AP, but it looks like both of them are still ranked in the coaches poll, and they suffered the 2 biggest drops this week. Texas has the 2nd biggest drop in the coaches poll, tumbling 12 spots to number 19. 3-2 record, 372 points. Vanderbilt is down 3 spots to number 20 with a 5-1 record and 329 points. Down 9 spots to number 21 is Iowa State. 5-1 record, 295 points. Just ahead of Penn State, the biggest drop in the coaches poll as they fell 16 spots down to number 22. 3-2 record, 294 points. Up a spot to number 23 is Arizona State. 4-1 record, 292 points. And then the final 2 spots are newcomers. Virginia at number 24 with a 5-1 record and 258 points. And Memphis at number 25 with a 6-0 record and 162 points. Dropping from the coaches poll rankings this week are Florida State, previously at number 19, fresh off a Saturday night's home loss to Miami, and Utah, previously at number 25. Others receiving votes include the aforementioned Utah Utes getting 134 points, Florida State with 93, Cincinnati with 70, South Florida 65, North Texas 28, Navy 26, Washington 25, USC 23, UNLV 21, Nebraska 17, TCU 15, Old Dominion 13, Louisville 10, Tulane 8, Duke and Auburn with 7 apiece, Iowa with 5, and SMU with 2. Okay, that is a look at the Week 7 college football rankings, as we are basically now at the midway point of the 2025 college football season already. This is the first of 2 videos today. Coming up in a few minutes, I will be back with the Week 7 college football television schedule and the announcers for every game this upcoming weekend. And I think the week starts tonight. Yeah, there are 2 games on tonight. And then you have 4 games on Thursday, 4 games on Friday, and then you have your full schedule on Saturday. We'll run through the entire schedule on my next video coming up soon, so stick around. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell and get notified every time I go live. Big Al signing off for now. Thanks for watching and enjoy the pigskin. Peace out. Now I'm moving my phone around, I don't know.